Yo, this is Lee Comstock, web developer by trade. Um, and this is me showing off a web app I started on years ago, back in 2017, and worked on it off and on for a bunch of years. It's been years since I worked on it, but it is a finished, it is a fully functioning web application, and I just don't feel like expanding on it anymore, so I'm making this video to talk about it. And it's basically a visual interface for creating a website. At the time when I started making it, I thought that sounded like a good idea. Um, since then I've come to think like, no, it's not really. It's just an extra abstraction layer for doing something that you can just as easily do just with pure code. I mean, the hard part of front-end web development really is like the whole like data-driven, like dynamic behavior type stuff, not really like layouting pages. But back then, when I was starting off in my career as web development, as a web developer, I thought making a visual interface for creating websites sounded cool. Sounded like that made sense. Um, and then over the years, I've come to think of it as making less and less sense. But I kept working for a while until eventually I just stopped working on it, and now I feel like, it is a fully functional interface. You can make a website with it if you want, and so I figured I'm not going to add any more features to it, so I'm just going to make this video and talk about it. Basically, you can press the D key to this, so it's hosted on Vercel, and as you can see, there's the link there, and if you want, you can check out, if you dare, you can check out the source code on Gitlab. I coded it years ago, so now I look back and think, I can do better things now, but it is what it is. But anyway, you can press the D key to toggle the dev sidebar on the side there. When it's on, you can hover here, see the logo. It's called Vue because it's powered by the Vue web framework. We have undo, redo. So if I say, so here I create, edit, move, delete. So if I say create something here, like create, why are the images not loading? Being slow. There we go. Okay, so if I put a header 3 here, I can put in text, something interesting. Then I can, if I want, I can undo it. Oh, really? It undoes. I forgot that. Text undoes per letter. Okay, I guess that's fine. And undo that. And basically, when you're in create, so you can press in the center of, these are all divs. Here we have frame and page. If you uncheck both of them, we can't edit anything. If you check the frame, then we can edit the frame, which is what you see on every page. Or we can check just the page, and this is the part that you only see for this page. So here at the top, we have a nav menu. You can switch between these two pages. And then we can make changes that are only to this page-specific stuff, not the frame, including like header and footer. So for now, I'm gonna have, say, the frame selected, so I can make changes to the frame. No, the page. Let's say the page. And so basically, I can say click here in the middle and add like an image, and then here in the select component here, I can choose an image. We have some images here from the beginning, but I can say upload image. And add what I want to add. Let's add this spaceship here. Add that. We can also, if we want, we can add something to the side here. So I can say, okay, 200 pixels there. And then here we add like header 2. Super cool stuff. We can edit. So for example, okay, I want to select this as an image to text. I can change Oh, change what image we have there. Change the color. This is hue, saturation, lightness, and alpha are these sliders here. You can put in the text there, or you can just change. Yeah, so that's the overlay color, or we can have a background color. Let's see. Not an overlay color, and just have a background color. It's really, let's see, pretty bright. Let's go with something. Who cares? Bright blue. We can change the text there and write something else here. Okay. So yeah, so we can select different divs here with content to change that. We can do move. So like we can go move and say, okay, I want to move this one. I want to move it to this side there. So we got it there instead. I want to move this. Maybe I want to move it there, so it's there instead. You can do that kind of stuff. I could take this and actually move it. If I also have the frame selected, I can move it out here instead. So now it's not on the specific page, but in the overall frame that's for all the pages. But I don't want to do that, so I will undo that. And so we can see here that's one page and that's one page. So when you're finished, you can download that zip. We'll do that later. Clean slate if you want to just wipe everything, start from scratch. If you download a zip, you can also upload it. So you can continue where you left off, because there's no backend to this, so you can't just save it in the servers, but you can download a zip, upload it. We have two layers actually. So this is the base layer, but if you want, we can also switch. This is, whether this is visibility here, these little icons. But we can switch to the fixed layer. We can maybe create a 50% division here. Now we see it's actually divided up here. So now if we edit this one, we can say, okay, take a color here, and we can see, okay, now we have a color there. And if we say create an image there, with there, now we can see that this stuff is, the normal base layer scrolls, whereas this is fixed. You can have a fixed layer that doesn't scroll. But I don't want to have that, so I'm just going to delete that whole thing. And then switch back to the base layer. We have response layer, so we can see like what does this look like in 600 pixels width, and you have to write px actually. And then we can see, okay, then it looks like this. You can see it kind of automatically, it's using Flexbox. So it's kind of automatically rearranging things so they fit. And also when we're in portrait instead of landscape, the mobile menu shows up. So we can switch that way. And here we have mobile menu. We can choose which corner the mobile menu should be in. And then we can also choose, should it be slide like this, or we can say it can be expand like that. And we can change the colors. So we'll change that to green, and change the other color to also green, but maybe darker. Maybe a darker green. And so like that, okay. And we can swap those colors. So it's the opposite. but I think I like the default color, so. Oh, that doesn't work. I thought, okay, then just write white, I think. Yeah, you can just write white and black. So that's just going into the CSS, so white and black works. Yeah, maybe that should be a little. Okay, that's cool. But let's go back to not have fit the browser. Go back to like that. We can add pages. So we have the personal page, we have the work page. We can add a new page. And then we get there page 3. We can rename that to contact. Maybe a new page, page 4. Call that jobs. And then we can also say, oh, maybe the jobs should be a child page to contact here. And maybe we say that, oh, maybe work should also be a subpage to contact. And then we can see here when we hover over, we get the working jobs. So now we have 4 pages. We have personal, contact, work, jobs, 4 pages. Of course, most of them are just empty. Work says work page, job says nothing. You can fill that in, but now we have child pages to this parent page. And then global component props. So that's where we can say like, okay, maybe we want all the images to have a certain background color, like that. That you can overwrite that on individual images, but yeah, whatever. Maybe we want all of the header 2s to be orange. But we can also, of course, select this specific one. And when you select it, and we get selected division and select the component there. The selected division will say things like for example, if we select this division, so that's the one that contains these two. So it's all like, like you can infinitely nest these divisions. And here we can change like, okay, maybe we want to have it. If you take that one, yeah, so maybe we want to change the alignment there. We can have it vertically aligned, where first is that and then is that, or we change it there, so we did. It's also a grid. You can make a grid. And you can change the entire divisions, like do something like that. You can add we can add a border color. Oh, we have to say border width, and then we have to also write pix and pix. Border style dashed, let's say that should be white. Now we see, okay, now we got that there. Cool. You can say a padding here also, 20 pix. So then we got it looking like that, pretty cool. So that's the selected division, which is just a div. But then we have the selected, if we select, well, in this case, it's a division containing several divisions inside it, so then we just see selected division. But if we select, say, this one, which is, doesn't have inner divisions, okay, well, then we get the selected division, but also select the component. And there we can change, we can change the color. What do we want? Like a bright green there. And that's going to override the global color for text. We can change the font. So you can't upload a new font, but you can choose from a bunch of free fonts. Let's go with, what do we like? We'll go with that one. Okay, so yeah, you can do that. You can always add a CSS class to a component or a division, and that will, when you generate the vanilla HTML CSS page, that'll show up. It'll assign that CSS class to that element. And that's pretty much it. Now you can see here, like, okay, we can switch to contact, personal. I only have stuff on the contact, but we could put things in this one. Image of text there. We can go to work there. It says work page jobs. We can add an image there. Say like, oh, maybe that one should have a different color, like that. And yeah, now you can see, like, okay, we go to work page, it says work page, jobs, and you have that picture. Yeah. I think I showed pretty much everything here. Yeah. All right, so finally, let's say maybe we want to make these sidebars a little smaller. So here's 100 pix. Let's say it's just 50 pix there, and 50 there, and 50 there, and 50 there. I think actually I've set this one to be 600. Let's make that bigger. So it's 800 there, and that holds. Set 800 there. So it's just so you don't have these giant things on the side, maybe. All right, looks fine. Why not? Page is pretty basic. Okay, and then I say download the zip, and we can open that zip file. And in this zip file, in the website folder here, we have fonts. So these are the fonts we're using. We have the images we're using, including the image that I uploaded. We have core CSS, which is the CSS that is always for a website generated with this interface. Custom CSS is specifically CSS generated specifically for your website. Mobile menu JS is a little bit of JavaScript to handle the mobile menu. Website JSON is used for if you want to upload this zip to the interface to continue working with it. It'll read the JSON file to recreate the website as a Vue web app, component-based web app. The rest are the HTML pages. So work HTML, personal HTML, jobs HTML, contact HTML. So we can open personal HTML, and there we see the page, and yeah, it looks the same as it did here. And we can switch here to the contact page, work page, jobs page, personal, and yeah, so that's that. I got a generated vanilla HTML CSS website. You can also, if you say go like that, we can yeah, there we see. I'm not sure exactly where the cutoff is there. There we see the mobile menu. You can see here some pages. So I can do that. And yeah, that's that. And yeah, that's my my demo of this web app, the visual interface for making a website. when I started making it, I thought it was really cool. But then, you know, over time, I've increasingly come to think that it doesn't really make sense. It's better to just do this stuff through code. It doesn't really solve the hard problems of web development, which is more like data-driven, dynamic features, stuff like that. Layouting pages is pretty easy, and I think you're better off just doing it purely through code. But I figured I'd make this video just to kind of close off the project and be done with it and move on. I've also recently released a game on Steam, Itch, and Epic, Full Spectrum Gradient. It's a rainbow twist on Tetris. And so I'm finished with that. I'm finished with this. I mean, I haven't worked on this for years, but now just making this video closes off this project. And yeah, I'm looking forward to new projects. I really want to learn Zig actually from my next project, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, that's that. Ciao.